Requisitioner Training, Accounting Distribution Setup. In Shopper Training, you learn the basics of adding one or more accounting distributions to your order. In this lesson, we will consider various scenarios that demonstrate different ways to set up your accounting distributions in UShop, so you will be able to choose the appropriate method for your order. Some important points to keep in mind. A purchase order fills multiple roles. It not only places an order for goods and services, it also encumbers funds to allow invoices to be paid. In order for expenses to be posted to the correct funding source, the correct accounting distributions need to be indicated on the purchase order. The accounting distribution on a PO should be set up appropriately from the start. It should not be considered as a default fund from which individual charges may be reallocated. On the Proceed to Checkout page, click on the Accounting Distribution link to open that page. In the first scenario, the order has a single accounting distribution or funding source to pay for the entire PO. When there is only one accounting distribution, it is appropriate to add that funding source at the main or header level. In this example, since the funding source is added at the header, it will apply to the entire PO. This is regardless of the number of product description lines included in the purchase order. Note that the message displayed at each of the product description lines is Accounting Distribution, same as header. In the second scenario, we have added a split to the accounting distribution, so we have multiple funding sources. In this example, both of the accounting distributions are intended to apply to the entire PO, so it is still appropriate to add them both at the header. Again, note that the message displayed at each of the product description lines remains Accounting Distribution, same as header. In the third scenario, things get a little more complicated, and we need to carefully consider where the funding sources are added. In this example, there are multiple accounting distributions as well as multiple product description lines. But this time, each of the accounting distributions applies to a different product description line. Instead of adding the funding sources at the header, they will each be added at a specific product description line. Assign the correct accounting description to each product description line by clicking the Edit link on the right end of the line. The system will display the same accounting distribution as you entered at the header. Edit it as needed. After editing the accounting distribution at the product description line, the new accounting description will be displayed at the line level, and two new messages will appear. At the header, you will see accounting distributions vary by line. And at the product description line, you'll see values have been overridden for this line, while the unedited product description line retains the message Accounting Distribution, same as header. You might have an order that utilizes both the header and line level methods. For example, one accounting distribution may apply to most of the product description lines on a purchase order. It is appropriate to add that accounting description at the header level. But there may be one item in your order, or a few items in your order, that require a unique funding source. For those items, edit the accounting distribution at the product description line level. Remember, an accounting description added at the header will apply to the entire PO. An accounting description added at the product description line will apply to that line only. Using this method will allow accounts payable to apply the correct chart field when paying an invoice. If you would like help determining how to correctly assign accounting distributions to each product description line, please contact the UShop Help Desk at 52255.